Hey everyone, talking about Elysium by Roja. This has quite a laundry list of notes, and many of you have probably heard of it and maybe even smelled it. A very, very popular masculine leaning niche fragrance that has kind of like a very love hate relationship for a lot of people. I would say most of the people that I see who hate it, it's not about the scent, it's complaints about projection and longevity. But for me, that's not an issue. So this seems very, very highly dependent on skin. Most people I've talked to either say, "Oh, I get such bad projection and longevity from it," or like, "Oh yeah, it's lasts forever," like on mine. So definitely something that could depend on the person. But the notes in this are lemon, bergamot, litsea, cubeba, rose de mai, jasmin de Grasse, cistus, galbanum, celery seed, pink pepper, caraway, nutmeg, pepper, oakmoss, vetiver, cedarwood, cedar needles, guaiac wood, amyris, labdanum, and honestly probably some other shit in there too. But it smells way different than you might think from that, because if I saw that I would think like something really kind of old school and stuffy, or like really spicy and woodsy. But it's very much like fresh and fruit, but not too like sweet either, but definitely some sweetness. There's like a decent amount of vetiver, I would say, for sure. There's like some spice. The rose is very much not typical here. I normally do not like rose. It does not smell feminine leaning floral, though I think this could still be unisex, but it is masculine leaning. Oh, I just love it. So for me, this is a date night scent. I don't think most people use it like that, but kind of most Saturday nights, my wife and I go out someplace, and she is very picky about fragrances that I wear. I kind of have a don't ask, don't tell policy where it's like if I'm sampling something, I don't say like, "Do you like this?" I just, if I get a complaint, then I won't wear it. But if I go to for like, "Hey, do you like this?" and stick it in her face, she's so tired of that happening that I feel like she's more inclined to be like, no, or something like that. But this one was one of the few ones that she outright had complimented, and that, I know it sounds cliche, but this is a compliment magnet of a fragrance. Everybody I know who wears it says the same thing. This is the number one thing they compliments on. Obviously, that's not the only important thing about a fragrance. Some people don't even care about that. But if you do, yeah, that factors in. I also think the bottle is really nice. I don't know why some people complain about that, but for me, it's like very nice, clicks into place, just feels really sturdy, and yeah, just nice. There's also a Parfum version. This is Parfum Cologne. I've tried both. They smell very similar to me, but the price is substantially different. That one I think is like well over $500. So I went with this one. I also like the bottle of this one better. The other one's yellow. This one goes for $315 for 100 ml, but you can get it on a big sale if you buy it at the right time. I got mine for 150, 175. I think it was Saks Fifth Avenue on a Black Friday website sale last year. So you definitely do not need to pay that price. Just keep an eye on it on some of the department store type of places, and grab it when there's a sale. There's also a pretty good clone of this by Alexandria, who makes clone fragrances and some original ones, called Zion, Zion. That one, 100 ml, is $110. So it does smell very, very similar, but the difference wasn't big enough for me after the sale at which I got this at to want to get the clone instead. But if you're on a budget, you could get that. You could also get it in a smaller size and stuff, and it really does, smell fairly similar. But yeah, I get a lot of longevity and projection of this, to the point where I've actually been more careful about how I spray it, because I almost got kind of like, this is too much. Like, it would just be like projecting so hard at me, even when I didn't have, my arms near my face or anything like that. Granted, of course, I'm in my own scent bubble, but that doesn't happen with like everything I spray. So I think this has a good combination where, yeah, for me, strong projection, for me, I get a lot of longevity on it. I can still smell it many, many, many hours later after being out and about, but I am not projecting that to be everybody's experience. I've seen so many mixed things. But I would also say to people who say it has terrible longevity and projection, that's also not totally true across the board for everyone either. So this just totally depends on your skin, even more than most scents, it seems like. And yeah, kind of back to the smell. I mean, it's hard. There are certain things out there that, there are times it's reminiscent a little bit to me of the opening of Aventus, not at all the dry down, but that kind of like opening vibe. And this doesn't have a pineapple note, but it has a little bit of that kind of, citrusy pineapple type of vibe. Yeah, just like really nice kind of soft spice, like soft sort of woodsy, but a little bit like toasted guaiac wood, vetiver. Oh, yes, greenness, fresh fruit, just like kind of like all of that stuff going on at the same time. and in a way that I really, really love. This is a warm weather scent only, basically. I mean, wear it whenever you want, but for me, it doesn't smell right or good when I try to wear it in cold weather. So definitely that is something that I stick to during spring, summer, even fall. More of a date or like end of day, like start of date night type of scent. Like this is not something that I would just like put on before it even. I mean, while it was dark already, like I like to put on when it's still, kind of late afternoon, early light on it. Like I said, it lasts a long time for me, but Roja in general is a very controversial fragrance house because a lot of people accuse other people of being like too into Roja and kind of standing for anything and everything they ever put out. But then those people are often just going out of the way to kind of hate on everything. For me, I just feel mixed about it in general. I actually tend to think their fragrances smell really high quality, but I couldn't care less about the fragrance house or like being, a stan of it or anything like that. And this is the only one that I've tried by them that's full bottle worthy to me. But yeah, I definitely think this is one to check a sample of if you haven't tried it yet, because it's such a popular, touch point in the fragrance world, especially niche stuff, that yeah, I think it would just be good to know what it smells like because people often compare other things to it. So it's just a good reference to have. And yeah, just really, really nice. Lasts really, really well in my clothes as well. And I like that. And yeah, even though it's also expensive, this to me, I've made the bottle last a really long time. I've had it for 10, I can't do math right now, over 9 months. And there's still, well, 80% left or something like that. And I use it pretty often. So your mileage may vary on that. But yeah, basically, I think this is really good. I know not everybody does, and I'll be completely upfront about that. But again, I rarely see complaints that are like, this stinks. And it's always more about the projection stinks, the longevity sucks. I'm not going to pay that for some weak ass fragrance or things like that. But I would also say, to me, there's more to a fragrance than projection and longevity. I would still wear this even if I got bad projection and longevity from it. I know that that's not something that everybody cares about, but to me, I don't write off a fragrance just for that reason. If I really, really love the scent, which I do for this one. But yeah, I'll put a link in the description where you can get a bottle or sample, and I'll also link to that clone Zion by Alexandria in case you're on more of a budget and you want to check that one out. But to me, this is a classic. It smells great, and even though it's very popular in the fragrance community, you are not going to have everybody around you smelling like this if you wear it out and about, most likely wherever you are, because most people are not buying a $300+ fragrance, and the clone isn't popular enough either, well known outside of the fragrance community, for everybody to be wearing this. So it's still likely going to smell very unique, very like, oh, what are you wearing that smells so good to people around you? But anyway, I love it. I respect that not everybody does, but for me, this is full bottle worthy. And I do not say that about many things. Out of trying thousands of fragrances, I only have 20 that have been full bottle worthy for me. Caveat, 20 that have been full bottle worthy and worked well with my skin and chemistry after trying it on skin. But regardless, to me, this is one of the best scents of all time, and maybe I'm basic, at least in the niche world, for that, but I really, really like it.